But what happens is you have a vision and you unfold it step by step by step, and pretty soon you do some pretty miraculous stuff. So first of all, you got to have a dream. Then you got to have a team, and I say a team is 2 individuals, and that looks like the power of 11. 1 and 1 equals 11. Jack and Mark are a team. Bob and Mark are a team. Art and I are a team. We got a lot of teams, and then the team can create the dream, and then you create MSIs, which I trademark, multiple sources of income.
Part of my marketing for the book was 1, media attention, which I got, 2, partnering with some best-selling authors to promote my book to their fan base, basically, and 3, do a lot of public speaking.
There's a young guy, Cameron Johnson, we see you promoted his book. I recently got an email on it. Yeah, absolutely. And these are people that reach out to other people with large mailing lists. How does somebody reach out to someone like that?
What's in it for them? See, a guy like Cameron, first of all, he's very eloquent. Secondly, he's got a lot of smarts. Thirdly, he's already set himself up to be on a lot of media. Fourthly, anybody who's going to be his joint venture partner is going to say, listen, that's great, and I want reciprocation. So I know when you hit it, you're going to send out for me again, aren't you?
You'd be surprised at how when you find someone that is getting the results that you want and you call them with a heart of service and sincerity and you're willing to serve and you're like, this is what my intention is and how can I support you, and you ask for guidance, again with the heart of service, willing to contribute, the universe opens up doors for you. It opens up possibilities for you.
80% of success is showing up. You have to walk up to that person and say, I would like you. If it's a mentor, you say, I would like you to mentor me. You know, and a lot of people confuse a mentor with an investor. And a lot of people say, well, you know, maybe if I find a mentor, they can give me money. No, they give you something more valuable than money is time.
I knew I wanted to work smarter and not harder. So I reached out to people who were within the first 3 or 5 years of their business, so they're still fresh as entrepreneurs, and just sent out emails to about 50 people I found in a book, you know, a trade show book. And luckily, 2 individuals ended up helping us out a lot, and we got mentors, and they basically said, you should do this is how you price you, this is how you find your manufacturer, this is how you market it, this is how you get your margins. And we really just asked a lot of questions, and we were blessed enough that these 2 people helped us out.
It's critical to surround yourself with experienced partners and mentors. And one piece of advice my father always told me was that the greatest investment you can make is in yourself. Turns out he was right.
You know, you talk about in your seminars how you had $30,000 invested in your business, and you took that, what was maybe supposed to go into the business, but you put it into yourself, into your education.
I went and wrote a business plan, put a business plan together, and took a loan for $30,000 to launch my first business. And the loan was supposed to go into marketing my business and doing all that. I took the loan and I applied it directly to my education instead. And so all I did was go to tons of seminars and, you know, just learn and get new skills. And so, I would say that the secret to everything that I was able to achieve later was that I had poured so much into my own education. So I was light years beyond what a lot of other people were doing. And between the age of 18 and 24, that's a key time in your life where you really learn how to make your life work. And so I came out at 24 and really had no clue how to make my life work. So I got into a lot of credit card debt very, very quickly. I was about $30,000 just in consumer debt. At one point, I hit a low point where I was living in a house that they were tearing down while I was living there. I was microwaving buckets of water to bathe in and wash my hair because they had cut my gas. So it was really out of desperation more than anything else that I started studying personal development. I was buying the tapes, I was reading the books, and so I started studying billionaires.
Because of my poor upbringing, there's nothing that a billionaire who was handed hundreds of millions of dollars could teach me that would be useful in my life. Show me somebody who started with nothing. Show me an entrepreneur like Sir Richard Branson who started with nothing. Show me somebody who was scraping pennies together that became a multimillionaire, or even better still, a multi-billionaire. And I'll show you somebody that I would study.
Another book, maybe not, I hate to even say I've read this book, but shoot me for saying this, and it sound, yeah, it's, oh man, I can't believe I'm gonna say this. I read, it was Martha Stewart's book, and it was kind of a weird situation. I read the book,
or I was listening to the book.
Right.
She has a part in there where she talks about her magazine pushing her company. I said, magazine, huh? I paused the book, I paused the tape. I was driving in my car on my way to LAX to go on a flight. I paused the book, and I had the number to a company called Bodyguard Magazine. I had talked to them before, and we took an ad out in their magazine, and it was called Bodyguard Magazine, but yet they were doing all MMA stuff in there.
Huh.
And so I called them up and I just said, hey, Bob, how's it going? You know, why are you guys called Bodyguard Magazine? And he said, well, because initially we were kind of doing bodyguard segments and stuff, and then it kind of turned more into an MMA. I said, you know what? It should be called Tapout Magazine.
Wow.
We should call this Tapout Magazine. And he said, you know what? We were thinking the same thing. Can you come meet with us next week? I got back from the flight the next week. I met. 2 months later, we had Tapout Magazine on the shelves of every Barnes & Nobles in the United States. You know, I mean, that book, I'm telling you, I literally happened like that. One idea, I paused it, called, done deal in 2 months.
Brett David's mentor was his father, the founder of Prestige Imports and Lamborghini Miami. While some kids that have their businesses handed to them on a silver platter squander it, Brett is determined to take his father's business to the next level.
He worked his entire life to get out of the ground. And I had to watch him be buried, and the reason was because of this. It was because of his hard work, and he had a dream. And all of a sudden, his hard work and never having play, he never enjoyed life. That doesn't mean that all of a sudden, because he passed, that I need to go cash in and I need to go play. I'm gonna continue his dream. Because in his heart, and even though he wrote that in the will, in his heart, if I had the ability to, and he knew in some way that this was gonna be a definite positive venture that I was gonna get into, he would want me to stay. And he died because of this. So I'm not gonna let all of a sudden sell this and cash in and me be the part of the LSC, the Lucky Sperm Club. It's not happening. I mean, I need to work for this business, and I need to work from what he started and create it and get it to another level. He brought it to a plateau, but personally between me and you, I think I had a lot of great ideas that I wanted to bring into it, but because of his old mentality, he never wanted to break to the second level. And this business would be a lot bigger than it is today. Between other franchises we could have acquired, if he just would have had that larger mindset, and he was kind of like a guided horse where he had blinders by his eyes and didn't want to see anything different. I'm gonna bring it to another level, and I'm gonna bring it because of him.
Take this word from Merlin the Wizard, and know it with thine heart. As thou travelest through life, never underestimate the power of very stupid people in large numbers. Unless you are one of those unfortunate blokes, in which case, ignorance is bliss.
One person who refuses to leave her fate to a fortune teller is Ellie Drake, a woman clearly in control of her destiny. A successful businesswoman by her 20s, Ellie became the inspirational leader of the community of entrepreneurs, Braveheart Women.
So Ellie, how do you monetize your dream?
Inspiration, purpose, strategy, implementation. So your dream is your inspiration and your purpose. How you monetize it is by learning how to have better strategies and a better way for you to implement. There's so many people in the world that have these big dreams, and if you ask them, that's a great idea, what's your strategy for implementation? They'll go, what do you mean? So instead of having so many dreams, I'd rather have one dream to begin with and say, okay, this is my dream. Now I want as many strategies to implement this dream as I go forward.
Yeah, you have to encourage and inspire yourself and remind yourself that any and everything is possible, because as my grandmother always says, wake up every morning and say, why not me? If you want millions, if you want a mansion, if you want to, she told me this when I was about 7 years old. She said, wake up every morning and say, why not me?
First and foremost, if you've started your own business already, you're on track. Okay, you're already on track for success. You know, Millionaire Next Door quoted this statistic, 74% of the world's millionaires, their own business. So if you want to be a millionaire, 3 out of 4 of them are created through their own business. Now, will you do well in your first business? Probably not. You'll probably mess up your first business. So those first few businesses will be your apprenticeship. They'll also start to teach you what to look for in a business that you can take global or a business you can take national. Because one of the keys to ultimate business success is scalability. I didn't want to create a franchise that would work in Brisbane, Australia, where I was born. I wanted to create a franchise that'll work in Nigeria, that'll work in Colombia, that'll work in China, that'll work in Russia, that'll work in, it's got to be something that I can take global.
Do you find that most people set up their business to run the business for the rest of their life and be an employee, or do they set it up to sell it and make money?
What do you think? As you know, they set it up as a job. Most people don't have a business, they have a job. Again, they set it up and they have to be there. It means you got a job. You don't want that. You can start off like that. That is the way most people start. Of course, you're doing everything. When I first started my business, it says, Harv, what do you do? I'm the janitor. I'm the janitor. I'm also the president, but I do everything. Yeah, hello, that's the real world. But quickly, you have to start, and here's the key word. Everybody write this down. Systemize. You must begin to systemize your business so that the systems work instead of you, or you're stuck for the rest of your life, okay? And that means systemize in other people, in other technologies that work instead of you. If you have to be there on an ongoing basis for your business to run, you don't have a business, you have a job. And here's the worst part. You will never be able to sell the thing. You see, it's very important to realize for young people that there are cash-rich people, cash-rich investors, cash-rich investor funds, and cash-rich corporations that are looking for you. They need you as much as you need them. They are looking for money machines. That means a machine that prints money. What's that? That's a business that's systemized and can work without you. And if you have to be there for that machine to work, you can't be bought. You don't even have a system. You've got to systemize yourself out of the business.
I wanted to sell a business as soon as I became tired of it. So many people have jobs that they absolutely hate, and they are not willing to take the risk to start a business. But likewise, there's so many entrepreneurs that actually hate their business because now they've become an employee, and they're working 60 hours a week. They're not having fun anymore. The company may or may not be making money. It doesn't matter how much money it's making if you're not having fun. So what I would do is I basically got tired, and you can also just look 12 businesses from the ages of 9 to 21. It's about a business a year. I've got somewhat of a problem. I'm addicted to starting businesses, and when I would become tired of it, I'd simply come up with a new idea, sell that business, use the capital, invest it in the next business, and everything would be a stepping stone.
And that's what everybody who's watching this movie has to know, that free enterprise is where prosperity lives. That's what's made this country great.
There's a new trend underway called social entrepreneurship, where the riches come from making a difference in people's lives and the world.
I'm always of the mindset, if I'm going to be an entrepreneur, of any kind of entrepreneur, I'm going to be a social entrepreneur. So I'm going to have a social aspect to my entrepreneurship. And I'm always concerned about justice and freedom and the protection of our government, of our rights, of our liberties and our pursuits, and everybody having a fair opportunity. And I saw some things in my community and on the national scale that bothered me. So I started a company called Justice Incorporated, a little company that was just aimed towards trying to find a justice in America.
And how old were you at the time?
I was about 12 or 13. Everyone on this green earth should be attempting to have a legacy, should be attempting to make a positive impact on this world, whether it be through social entrepreneurship or just being the average Joe who does something great and is a great person. We should all be striving to be that legacy moment. Because if we're not living for legacy, we're living for failure.
I haven't met a lot of people without arms and legs. I've met a few, but I haven't met a lot. Yet a lot of people can relate to my life, seeing that all the odds are against me, that maybe I'm not perfect in the world's eyes, that, you know what, it's hard, but the power of persistence and the right perspective in life, that's a foundation of knowing who you are and then where are you going and who do you want to be.
Obviously, as you get older, the view of your life changes. You can have arms and legs, but if your question is, why am I here? When you lack purpose to live,
cuando tienes un propósito de vida,
you lack power to live.
Guys, I used to think that one day if I could wake up with arms and legs and see, you know, just everybody that I could to tell them, look, you know, there is hope in life, and you know, what a miracle that would be. I mean, you know, many people love to believe in miracles, but one of the things I realized in my life is that I am the miracle the way that I am, and you are the miracle the way that you are, and you're here for a reason. Don't give up. Don't put limits on yourself. Live life one day at a time, and don't forget to smile, because you can always be thankful.
You should do what you want to do, regardless of what society tells you, your circumstances tell you, your family, your friends. If you've got an idea and you want to see it from here out to here, and you have everyone in your life telling you that you shouldn't do it, well, either you shouldn't do it, or if you're really passionate about creating something and being a leader and stepping up and seeing your vision come to fruition, you're on the right path. You need to find what it is that really drives you. What do you get excited about? And what is motivating? You know, if your parents want you to be a CPA and you want to be a rock star, I mean, I hate to say that, you know, there may be more money being a rock star, but really, life's short. We're all gonna be dead next number of years. So do something that gets you excited, you're passionate about, that you can get into. And money, it may not necessarily be about money, but as long as you're going after that dream and what's important to you, that's what's important.
I want to recommend that you become very quiet and ask yourself, what do you really love to do? And then make up your mind you're going to do it.
According to statistics, I'm supposed to either be in prison or dead, but I'm not, based on where I grew up. So any and everything is possible when you believe in the power of who you are, when you believe that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen. So if you don't know where you want to go as an entrepreneur, continue to forge ahead, believing in your product, believing in your idea, knowing that you will be successful. Because as I always say, it's amazing what you can accomplish when you don't know what you can't do yet.
But the biggest thing that separated me from all these people that I meet was at the age of 18 years old. I got off the sofa, I drove to the fabric store, I bought the fabric, you know, it cost me $50, but at 18, that's a lot of money. But I did it, and I, you know, sewed it up, stuffed it, and, you know, a decade later, it's an international company.
Well, if there's one thing I can tell you, that is to quit making excuses. You know, time, education, lack of money, we all look for excuses. What we really need to look for is the first step.
Because life does not give us what we want. Life gives us what we deserve. And if you think you deserve more and you want to take your life to the next level, then you need to empower yourself.
Time to take action. It's not 10 minutes from now. It's not a year from, it's now. It is this second, this moment. It's when you got to take action.
Live the limitless life and go after your dreams at all costs. And don't be somebody that talks about it. Don't be somebody that dreams about it. Be somebody who goes out and does about it.
One step in the right direction is worth 100 years of thinking about it. Get in the game. Start today. Start now.
The Yes movie is really just a starting point. What we're creating here is even larger than a movie. We're creating a global society of young entrepreneurs. I want my life to become an example of what's possible for a young entrepreneur. I waited till I was 30 years old to make this movie. Please don't wait. Do it now. You can have everything that you want. You just must take action.
I want some of that.
It's showtime. It's showtime. You gotta play it cool. You gotta go on the field. You gotta perform.
We had no choice. We had to win.
It's showtime. It's showtime.
My time is more valuable working on my business.
You can do anything.
You gotta go on the field. You gotta perform.
You can do it.
We had no choice. We had to win.
You gotta play it cool.
It's showtime.
Nobody was ever able to dictate my decision or take away my happiness.
It's showtime. You gotta play it cool. Phil, you gotta perform. It's showtime.